All right, Dr. Dan Ritchie from Functional Aging Institute back again with a simple tip on some dumbbell presses using a physio ball or an exer ball. Megan's going to demonstrate starting out with kind of your typical two-handed dumbbell press. So she's going to roll out to the position. So notice she's keeping her back in a nice good position. You can go ahead and give us a couple repetitions there. So this movement has gotten popular in sort of the functional training aspect, and people like to train the chest while doing functional stuff. So again, if you're thinking about maximal force production, maximal strength building, you're going to want to do dumbbell presses on a flat bench, a very stable surface. But for those days where you're not looking for maximal force production or potentially maximal muscle building, but you still want to train your chest and your shoulders, the exercise ball is a great way to bring in a lot of lower body, a lot of core, a lot of low back strength. If we ask Megan to put her feet together, so go ahead and put your feet together, you'll notice as she presses, the ball even started moving. So she had to move her feet apart. So a lot more hip control, a lot more lower body function. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. So go ahead and spread your feet nice and wide. Now, the other way we can tweak this is take it into alternating. So she's going to do one arm at a time, which then the ball is going to shift. She's going to have to counter that with her core. We can make it even more challenging by, instead of just alternating, actually reciprocating. So as one's going up, the other is coming down, and she's going back and forth. So your core through your transverse abdominis, your obliques have to fire, so you can actually turn a chest press activity into almost a total body exercise. If we asked her to go ahead and bring those feet together again, notice she's going to struggle with this quite a bit more. She's going to have to really control that. She doesn't even want to bring her feet together, so couldn't get her to touch her feet together. So she'd probably have to lower the weight to make the exercise even more total body, total function, okay? So Megan, you can go and sit back up there. So if we think about that in terms of the continuum of a functional exercise for training the chest, again, if we're looking at maximal force production and maximal chest building, we're going to want heavier weights, more stability. If we want more total body function, we're going to want a little bit less stability, maybe add alternating dumbbell movements, reciprocating dumbbell movements, or even one arm at a time where the opposite part of our body has to counter that. Then we put it on an unstable surface. Now our back has to become our bench, so our butt and our low back has to be much stronger. Then if we put our feet close together, we're going to challenge our hips to keep that ball still, so we can bring a lot more muscles into that activity. But of course, we're going to have to reduce the weight. So now our chest is not being trained quite as dramatically. So think about that in terms of a continuum when you're training your chest. There may be some days where you don't want to train as heavy, and you can make the exercise a lot more total body, full function. This is Dr. Dan Ritchie from Functional Aging Institute. I hope this tip was helpful for you.